My story begins when 3 of my favorite things came together: Girl Scouts, bargains, and New York City. So you can imagine how thrilled I was to find $9 round-trip tickets from Holyoke to Manhattan during April school vacation week. I had 25 brownies, their older sister tag-alongs, and the chaperones ready to go that morning at 6 a.m., those little faces gleaming in their brown uniforms. A good Girl Scout is ready for adventure and cheerful in the face of adversity. And they were very excited to hop off the bus onto the subway toward our first destination, the Girl Scouts National Headquarters, right on 5th Avenue. The girls got to see vintage Girl Scout cookie boxes, original uniforms, and they could pick up a phone to hear how Juliet Gordon Lowe had started the organization in 1912 in Savannah, Georgia. Then they marched through the streets singing call and response songs on the way to Liberty Island. When they got there, they raised their fists in the air, pretending to hold the torch. It was enough to soften hearts and inspire patriotism in anyone. We had planned a fairly short day for them because they were only 7, and so at this point, it was time to start thinking about going back to the bus. This is where our troubles began. One of the older tag-alongs had fallen and broken her leg. It was in a wheelchair. We were learning how to navigate the subway and the ferry with a wheelchair. We hadn't planned to stop at Ellis Island. We thought that was a little old for them yet. We didn't realize how long it would take for all of those passengers to get off the ferry and the returning Ellis Island visitors to get back on the ferry. By the time the ferry was pulling into Battery Park, we said, hey, this is gonna be tight. We better hustle. We hustled them off the ferry, over to the South Street station, jumped on the subway, and there we waited and waited and waited. The subway system runs on a schedule, and this was the first stop, so it didn't leave till it was ready. Halfway through that subway ride, the other moms and I were looking at our watches. This is gonna be tough. This is gonna be really tough. Get ready, girls. One mom, who famously runs the St. Patrick's Day road race every year in Holyoke, was sent ahead to hold the bus, and we'd get the rest of them. We flew up those stairs, out onto the sidewalk. I hope that girl in the wheelchair is behind us, and down the sidewalk. If the bus driver would have looked to the left, he would have seen half his prepaid passengers flinging themselves toward him, waving their arms. Alas, he did not. And the runner mom who ran ahead was the only one who got to see the bus pull away without us. It was my fault. I was devastated. Only one kid cried, mine. But I got them taken care of, and I started to make arrangements to get home. There were only 26 tickets left on standby, so I had to buy them, even if it meant ruining the bargain. When I rejoined the girls, they were happy as could be, eating their first New York City slice. Then we went over to Herald Square. Some of the girls decided to go shopping right next door in the largest department store in the world, Macy's. For the rest, other things started to appear, like Polly Pockets and Uno cards, things they'd brought with them to entertain themselves on the bus. We got back to the bus stop early. It was dark. It was over some sketchy train tracks, and it was filled with vermin. But this chance to be cheerful in the face of adversity came in handy just last year. Those brownies are now in high school, and we made a Girl Scout pilgrimage to Savannah, Georgia, to see where Juliet Gordon Lowe started Girl Scouts. The second part of our flight home got canceled. It was a good chance to remember that night and how we did really get home. One of the girls even sighed happily and said, "Remember when we went to New York City and saw those rats?" Thank you.